Well, hi, I'm John Hart. Welcome back to Mr. America Hart. Today I'm giving you the 3 best dumbbell exercises that you can use for your shoulders to build up some nice round shoulders, size, shape, all of that, okay? And to also have them be healthy along the way. This is really important because one of the most common injuries in the gym, going back, the beginning of time, first time that anybody ever started to work out, that would be, yes, the shoulder injury. So it's a complex joint. You know, we're talking about a ball and socket. Your humerus goes up into your shoulder joint and creating a shoulder joint. And it has multi-functions, can go in many different directions, excuse my language, very many different directions, and allows us to do everyday functions as well as have great workouts in the gym. So let's get straight to it. I'm going to give you my top 3 and the reasons why. First of all, I do really prefer dumbbell presses for overhead presses. And the reason why is it's a great power movement. It involves not just your delts and mainly the front delt along with some of the side delt, but the stabilizers, the posterior deltoid, as well as all the rotator cuff muscles that are surrounding your shoulders, shoulder blades. They all learn to work. See that? They learn to work together. That's really important. So dumbbell seated overhead presses. Now here's the key. Oh, by the way, also the serratus muscles. Those are those sawtooth muscles along the sides of your rib cage right there. And they stabilize your shoulder joint as well. So what is it that why do I even prefer those dumbbell presses? First of all, I learned years ago watching Frank Zane. Frank Zane was a 3-time Mr. Olympia, and he had switched from doing direct vertical seated shoulder presses to angling the bench back just slightly. And this, I believe, has contributed not only to my own personal long-term health of my shoulders, but also all of my clients. For 40 years, I've been training people. And when I really locked into that and adjusted the angle slightly, we're talking about maybe 80 degrees to the ground, 70 degrees to the ground, instead of it being bolt upright 90, okay? If you do that, those presses will end up being more comfortable, and not necessarily on the shoulder muscles, it's the cervicals. It's the upper trap and cervicals. So you have less wear and tear on the neck, the base of the neck, okay? So that's something that I've noticed over the years. And so this is really important. What kind of seated dumbbell presses really do matter? So that one angle makes a big difference. And then when you're doing your sets, of course, out of all of the shoulder exercises, this would be the one where I would keep it within a bodybuilding hypertrophy repetition range of 8 to 12, 8 being the minimum, 12 being the maximum repetitions, using fairly heavy weights. Good pace, and without locking out at the top. So when you hit the top, you don't lock the elbows, you stop short. And then that allows for your muscles to be hit constantly without locking out, you know, bone on bone, your elbow joint at the top. So it's safer in a way, and it involves stressing the muscle even more. So that's what we really want to do when we go to the gym. So that's it for my number 1. It would be dumbbell seated shoulder presses at about 70, 80 degrees to the ground. The angle of the bench should be, okay? So that's my first. The second one, and we are kind of going front to back because the deltoid, the shoulder muscle, has many muscles all around. And if you've seen any anatomy charts, you can actually see on there how there's more like, somewhere like 5 or 7 different actual segments of the muscle. But in bodybuilding, we've simply kept it as 3 heads. We call it 3 because it simplifies things. You're never really isolating just one head. So we are using more than one at a time when we do dumbbell overhead presses. And then also when we do leaning dumbbell lateral raises, leaning. And notice how I just leaned away from my left delt when I'm going to do a left lateral raise. And just like this movement, it's really good We do know science in recent years has proven that when a muscle is in its lengthened position, we benefit the most from that position with a lot of stress on the muscle, meaning you want to have it set the strength curve or the majority of the weight if there is a curve, and there is a curve when you do lateral raises. You want it so that there's a lot of resistance in the stretch position as opposed to the fully contracted position. So our deltoids, our shoulders, are made to operate that way and to keep them, again, healthy. But also to maximize the size of those delts, we want to hit the muscle when it's in a stretched position. And I've said in many other videos, I'll put the links down below in those videos, how you don't want to go just because there's a great principle, just because we understand that you should do or should have good resistance in the stretched position. Whether you're doing a leaning dumbbell lateral raise like I'm showing you here, or a cable side lateral raise. When you do a cable side lateral raise at the bottom position, you don't need to go all the way across your body and overextend that shoulder. All it does is open up the joint. It does not make for more growth in the muscle, as opposed to just fully letting the muscle lengthen out on its own naturally and not forcing it to go into a hyper stretch position. So there's a lot of exercise scientists today who obviously do not train people in the gym and probably don't have much experience themselves, training themselves. Whether or not they have a good body, that doesn't much matter, because they could be doing their steroids and doing whatever it is to look good for social media. But here they are, exercise scientists, actual PhDs, taking that one note, and I'll put a link down below on a video I did on this as well, taking that one factor that we do want to have resistance in the lengthened position. They grab a hold of that and they go, whoa, like a true bodybuilder, whoa, more must be better. So they go and they hyper stretch that muscle. And in the deltoids situation, they do, in fact, overstretch, overdo it unnecessarily. You don't have to stretch across your body all the way and open up your shoulder capsule to potential injury. It's not meant to function that way under heavy load either. So anyway, this is the main point that I'm making here. Leaning away dumbbell laterals, or I can say I have a pretty close 1-2 on that one. The cable side lateral. I really like cable one-arm side laterals, but in both cases they're one-arm laterals, okay? With a lot of resistance in the bottom position. Thirdly, this one might surprise you, lying down on the floor or on a bench, lying dumbbell rear lateral, one arm at a time. This exercise is one I've written about it in my books, Mr. America Shape Up series. I've written about it in Physique 101 and also Year 1 in the beginning. This is by far and away the best rear delt builder. There's a lot of resistance in the fully stretched position as you're reaching down toward the floor. You tap the floor gently, boom, up you go, about 3/4 of the way up, and you are hammering those rear delts. So this one satisfies all of our requirements. A lot of resistance in the stretch position. It's not overstretching the deltoid, especially if you do it on the floor. And then you're getting the proper strength curve, where as you go up, it gets a little bit easier, but you can use a decent amount of weight on that exercise. And you're using the rear delt the way it's meant to function, coming down across your body and then back. It's that first 3/4 of that movement where we want to hit it with a lot of resistance. So dumbbell shoulder presses at about 70-80 degrees, leaning away dumbbell laterals or cable laterals. And then thirdly, lying down dumbbell rear laterals. Those are my big three. Love to hear your three down below in the comments section. Go ahead and hit me with it. Let me know what you think. And if you haven't tried these exercises or any of these, try them. Let me know what you think as well in the comment section down below, okay? In the meanwhile, if you haven't considered it, consider joining my HIT training community. That's high intensity training community. HIT with Mr. America Heart is the name of the community, and I'll put a link down below for that as well. What else? That's it. Okay. From my heart to you, John Hart. No, hey, before you go off, to my left, you're going to see this disc pop up. That is the subscribe button for my channel. Please give that thing a tap and let YouTube know that you want to go ahead and be notified when I have new videos pop up. And then down below and off to your left, you're going to see a thumbs up button. Please tap that and let the algorithm know. Well, just light up the algorithm. That's what we're going to do, right? All right. I'll see you soon.